Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. I thank the Honorable Member for his question and I rise to respond. With regard to plans in reinstating the Rotuma Island Council, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Rotuma is administratively incorporated into Fiji as a dependency with some measures of autonomy given to local government in the current Rotuma Act, where the Rotuma Island Council can make regulations for the island. In line with government obligations under the ILO Convention 169 on the rights of indigenous and tribal peoples and the United Nations Declaration on the rights of indigenous peoples, I have the office that is responsible for looking after Rotuma affairs under my portfolio. UNDRIP and ILO 169 speakers recognize that indigenous peoples have the right to free, prior, and informed consent or nothing about us without us. This means that their consent must be sought and freely given to changes that affect their institutions, their resources, and their traditional decision-making processes. For example, the appointment of their chiefs. The coalition government is adamant that the people of Rotuma should decide for themselves their future and to be governed by laws and systems that are in line with their culture and traditions. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to delve into history. The 1970 Constitution recognized the Council of Rotuma as a local authority. The Great Council of Chiefs would permit the Rotuma Island Council delegates to make decisions on all issues pertaining to Rotumans which the chiefs would then support. The cession of Rotuma in 1879 was also acknowledged by in the 1997 Constitution, but according to that Constitution, the Tokay and Rotuma indigenous people have the right to governance through their separate administrative systems, and the rights of all individuals, communities, and groups are respected. The Rotuma Land Act and Rotuma Act and the Native Land Act and the Native Land Trust Act, and also the Fijian Affairs Act and the Banaban Act, were all included and protected under Section 185 of the 1997 Constitution. Those provisions, unfortunately, were not included in the 2013 Constitution, so laws relating to Fiji's indigenous peoples may be amended by government with a simple majority in the House. Now that the Great Council of Chiefs has been reinstated, I urge the chiefs and residents of Rotuma to participate in the determination of matters pertaining to their functions, including the revision of legislations that include meaningful consultations and dialogue through free, prior, and informed consent. Chapter 122 of the Rotuma Act created the Council of Rotuma as territory authority. The 7 elected representatives from each of the 7 districts and the 7 district leaders make up that council. As stated, each of Rotuma's 7 districts elects 1 representative to the council, and the traditional chief of each district is also a council member. The 7 chiefs are chosen according to traditional customs. The election is usually for life. The 7 elected representatives are elected for 3-year terms by resident Rotuma Islanders aged 21 and over. Candidacy is restricted to persons who are eligible to vote. The full members of the council elect a chairman from among themselves. For the honorable member's information, the Rotuma Island Council was not dissolved, but the subvention fund was suspended for 2 consecutive financial years due to non-compliance to financial regulations by the council. The matter has now been rectified by the council, and the annual subvention funds have been released normally. On elections, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Rotuma Island Council held its elections on the 24th of August 2023, where the current chairman was re-elected for another 3-year term. It is critical to note that elections are held every 3 years and that the current electoral procedure, as outlined in the current Rotuma Act, is still being followed. This is another critical area of interest that will be subject for consultation and thorough discussion once a review of the Act commences. The Council now looks after the overall development on the island. The Council is now allocated budgetary grant under the Rotuma Subvention Fund that is administered by the Office to support its daily operational needs and to provide development assistance to communities in Rotuma. The Speaker, in terms of plans to reinstate the Rabi Island Council, I'd like to greet our relatives in Rabi, Governor Murray. The Rabi Island Council of Leaders was established under the Banaban Settlement Act of 1970, Cap 123. The last election of the council members was held in 2011. As Prime Minister and Minister in charge of Rabi Island matters, I have appointed an interim administrator for the Rabi Island Council of Leaders to oversee the council's operations and restore the annual Rabi Subvention Fund as one of the coalition government top priorities for the people of Rabi, who have been left behind in social and economic advancements over the years when the Subvention Fund was withheld by the office. The council was dissolved in 2013 due to the mismanagement of funds and pending court cases for some of its members. Legal advice was sought, noting that the dissolution was due to the failure to meet financial standards and requirements within specified time frame. General elections for the council were first held in November of 1996 in accordance with the Regulation 1951-21 of the Banaban Settlement Act. Elections are scheduled to take place in January of the following 4 years: 2000, 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016, and 2020. Therefore, the next general election should have been held in January 2024, in accordance with Article 2.1. In order to improve governance, oversee island development, and prepare for the next election, the office is currently consulting with the reviewing portions of the Banaban Settlement Act in collaboration with the interim Rabi administrator. This will ensure that the Act takes into account current and emerging development trends. A major change to be expected from the review was the election process to be aligned to that of the Fijian Elections Office in terms of voting age and the criteria for those wishing to contest the election and selection process. Mr. Speaker, the Banaban Act existing voting age is 21. That also must be changed to 18 in order to comply with the Fiji elections regulations. The Kioa and Melanesian Wachitoke, Talofa, Waka, and Bulawanaka, apart from those legislative roles, the office also coordinates and facilitates the disbursement of development funds for the Melanesian Wachitoke and Kioa Island based on community priorities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Are there any supplements?